Welcome back to Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex, and some of you guys know I've been on the hunt for a 63 car. I really wanted a 204 chassis C63 AMG. I think these cars look amazing. They ran this body style all the way until 2014, and with depreciation, these are a total bargain. So I went out and I bought one. Here it is, except there's one big problem, or actually, there isn't a big problem, which is a big problem for me. You see, I was specifically looking for one of these cars that had the notorious head bolt failure, possibly some bad camshafts, some frozen lifters. This way I could make videos showing you guys how to fix this stuff at home. And this right here was supposed to be that car, except I fixed this in my driveway in about a half hour for only about $150 worth of parts. So now, honestly, I'm just confused. Should I be happy? Should I be sad? And what is the real reason that the seller sold me a 2009 68,000 mile C63 for only $8,500? So in today's video, I'm going to show you all around the C63, and I'm going to let you listen to it because this is by far the loudest car I've ever owned, including my 1,000 horsepower turbo Trans Am. It's just ridiculous what they did with this exhaust. Also, I'll show you how I was able to fix this car for only 150 bucks in my driveway. And do not worry, we're going to get to all of the cosmetic modifications that you guys have no doubt already commented on, and you haven't seen all of them just yet. Wait till we pop the hood. I'll give you a little bit of a hint though. It's as if the previous owner lent this car to Tavarish and Freddie gave it just a little bit of the gold touch. Before we get to any of that, I gotta tell you guys how I got such an amazing deal on this car, because the last few cars I bought were all private party and they were all priced really, really well. And I found the most efficient way of searching for cars on the entire internet, and that is by using AutoTempest.com. AutoTempest.com is also super easy to use. Just type in the make, the model, and any other detail that you deem important. For me, I wanted a pre-2012 C63 because after that, Mercedes-Benz fixed the head bolt issue. Click search and you're going to get results from all the major online marketplaces like AutoTrader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, and eBay, all on one organized page. My favorite part is you also get links to nationwide Craigslist results, so no more going city by city on Craigslist for hours searching for the car that you want. So to find your next used car bargain, just click on the link to AutoTempest.com located in the video description box down below. Big thank you to AutoTempest for sponsoring this video. Now let's take a listen to this engine so I can show you that it is indeed in pretty good condition now. And fair warning here, we're gonna take a clip from out back as well. So if you're wearing headphones, or really if you're listening to this on anything, turn the volume down because this car is crazy loud. So yeah, definitely not stock at all. This still has the factory exhaust manifolds and the front catalytic converters, but that is about it. It is totally straight piped past that. And check this out. I just noticed this. Look at this. There's a 2 and a 4. So there was a 24 sticker right here to go along with those right there. At this point, you guys have probably already noticed what I was talking about. Tavarish would be very proud of this gold tape. So Freddie, if you're watching, did you own a white C63 at any point? Because I'm pretty sure that you did. I wanted to let you guys listen to this engine though, because it sounds really good and it runs really smooth. So check this out. So normally if you have an issue with the camshafts, the lifters, or the adjusters, you'll hear a ticking noise. Now this engine is completely warmed up and these noises are the loudest at cold start. And I've tried cold starting this thing like 20 times and listening for noises and I can't find anything. But needless to say, my neighbors absolutely hate me. This is what about a 30-degree cold start sounds like. So needless to say, I think some mufflers are in order. I know this might sound cool to some, but it is basically obnoxious to drive a car around like this. So let's talk about why the previous owner thought that the engine was bad and why he basically fire sold a 68,000 mile C63. So the C63 was listed as having an engine issue. The previous owner said that it was blowing white smoke out of the tailpipe and that he had to add coolant to the reservoir because it was going low. Now, he specifically listed the car as having possibly bad head gaskets and faulty head bolts. And if you guys saw my factory defect video on this engine, that would be a very reasonable assumption. The early M156 engine did have issues with bad head bolts. But I had my friends at the Mercedes-Benz dealership run the VIN number, and lo and behold, the head bolts, the gaskets, and the lifters were all replaced under manufacturer's warranty before the previous owner bought the car. Now, the new head bolts, they really don't fail. So at this point, I didn't know what to think. This is the car that I wanted. I was attracted to it because of its specific listing that it had this problem. And at this point, I didn't think it did. Now, I hadn't seen the car yet, but I'm gonna assume that a car with stickers, green calipers, some Tavarish tape under the hood, and a drifting style tow hook has probably been beaten on. So maybe, just maybe, it had a new engine issue. So I had the previous owner send me videos of it smoking from the tailpipe, and what I saw looked totally normal. And if you guys have an AMG car, maybe an older one, you know that sometimes when you start it after it's been sitting for a while, you're gonna get a little puff of white smoke from the tailpipes. All this is a little bit of oil burning off. I've seen brand new AMG cars do this as well, and it's pretty normal. So that's all I saw. So I grabbed a friend. We drove the 5 hours down to Kentucky to inspect the car. After cold starting it and looking over everything, it's got a bunch of other stuff wrong with it, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. I didn't see anything wrong with the engine whatsoever. The only thing that I found was a little coolant leak, which would explain why his low coolant light was coming on, which made him think that he had bad head bolts. So I'll let Alex of the past kind of show you exactly how I fixed this coolant leak in my driveway for about $150. Hey guys, Alex from the past. Totally raw. E55's looking good. Look at that fender. Just wanted to show you what Alex of the future is talking about. So basically, I didn't see this broken off when I looked at the car in Kentucky. I'm gonna assume that this was broken off just slightly like this when I picked the car up, because this was intact. It was you know, it was in this general vicinity, so I didn't think it was broken off completely. I knew there was a live leak though. I'm gonna assume this is the only reason why the low coolant light came on for the previous owner and why he thought that the head bolts went bad. So maybe he just Googled coolant light, 63 engine, and that's it. So anyway, we're gonna start off at the very least by replacing the thermostat housing. Got my new one from FCP EURO, factory Mercedes-Benz part, lifetime guarantee. So we're gonna throw that on. This reservoir was low on power steering fluid anyway, so I'm gonna clean that up, fill her back up. We're gonna knock out two things at once, and we're also gonna be changing the oil, so I got a new filter going in too. So it's been over 100 miles since I replaced the thermostat housing on this car, and I still can't find anything wrong with it. It's interesting to note, I also drove this thing home 5 hours from Kentucky with this minor coolant leak, and there was no problem with the engine either. So I'm continually scanning this thing for codes. I scanned it when I first got there, and there were no codes indicating any misfires or timing codes. Also, I could tell that he didn't just clear them out because all of the readiness monitors for the emissions were all complete. So at this point, I've put 500 or 600 miles on this car with no engine issues whatsoever. Now, I haven't dug too deep into anything else on this car, but one thing that I did notice as well is that the oil level was about 1.5 quart high. Now, this could have been just because someone topped it up way too much, but these cars also had an issue with sticking injectors. They would stick open and they could potentially fill the crankcase with fuel, which would raise your oil level. So again, we'll go back in time and I'll show you how I inspected the fuel injectors. All right, guys, so the rail is pressured up. Battery's a little low. I think that's why the pressure is not quite up to 60. But these injectors are not leaking at all. I was really expecting to see one of these dribble down, and I've tried them. I've tried this with all the injectors plugged in as well. It makes no difference. They don't leak. I've also kind of tapped on them, so everything is cold. Look how dirty this is. It's possible it's a leaking injector when the engine's shut off and it's still hot, but Not 100% sure right now. And I tested the injectors with a hot engine as well. They don't leak. So regardless, I'm gonna replace the injectors as part of my modification game plan, which we'll talk about a little bit at the end of this video. But for now, let me show you some very interesting stuff that's wrong with this car. And we're gonna start with the engine mounts, because I cannot buy a Mercedes that doesn't have a totally broken engine mount. And this one is quite impressive. I'm telling you, I cannot get a car that doesn't have a totally broken engine mount like this one. And these look a little bit difficult to replace, but I'm gonna be installing long tube headers from Victory Road Performance along with some billet poly-filled engine mounts, so I'll never have to do them again. So aside from that really broken engine mount, under here you can see the tire. That is not normal. There should be a plastic cover like this. So what happened was, the previous owner said he ran something over it, ripped out the fender liner, and then water, it's kind of hard to see, but water got in the back of the xenon headlight bulb. So that doesn't work, and this headlight is really, really expensive, but luckily he included one, a used one that's in the trunk. So I got to get a new fender liner, install that headlight, and we should be good to go there. But look at what else this thing damaged. I don't know if you guys can even see this. Look at the transpan. Totally smashed in. So he hit something, then it hit the transpan, but this thing shifts absolutely perfectly. Sorry about the audio there. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to lift this car up yet because my diesel is dead on the rack. But the transpan is smashed in, so we got to get a new one of those. We got to do the engine mounts, and then let's take a look at some pretty shoddy cosmetic stuff like this. So obviously this is an aftermarket carbon fiber lip on the front bumper, and as you can see, it's basically destroyed and falling apart. So I'll have to take that off. But what's nice is it's acted as kind of like a sacrificial lamb in protecting the rest of the front bumper. So the front bumper looks to be in pretty good shape outside of the area where it connects to the grille. So I'll have to fix that up. But other than that, the rest of the body looks to be really, really nice. It's not smashed in or dented anywhere. The wheels are in good shape. The tires are brand new. All the glass is intact and not cracked. And the only couple aftermarket parts as far as cosmetics go that I'll probably keep is this trunk spoiler lip. I do like that. It looks pretty good. And I might keep the carbon fiber rear diffuser. But these tips, they're going to go. I'd prefer the factory AMG tips. I think they just look really, really nice. And then we're going to change up the entire sound of the exhaust as well. So obviously the previous owner had his own style going on, and I don't fault him. Everyone's into their own thing. I know some of you guys might not like the stickers and whatnot, but this guy was a real enthusiast. His next car is going to be a CTS V, which is a total dream car for me. So this was a very odd situation. I took a big risk buying a car with potential engine issues, and so far so good. But we don't know 100%. I still have to lift this car up, inspect everything. We're going to be taking some of the engine apart and doing a compression test as well, because there's always a possibility that there's still some problems with this engine. I haven't gone past an 8th throttle because of the bad engine mounts, so we don't really know exactly how this is going to act at full throttle either. So we still have some further investigation coming up in the next video, but a lot of this cosmetic stuff is just totally removable. These calipers, they're just wrapped, so I'll be able to peel that off, no problem. Obviously the stickers will come off. This right here will come off. It's just a decal. We'll get rid of our drifting tow hook right here and just put a white, the factory white cover over there. And we're gonna get rid of our Tavarish tape underneath the hood and just go back to factory. So something else worth mentioning is that this car does have a rebuilt title from about 3 or 4 years ago. So the owner before the guy I bought it from had bought the car at an auction because it had damage to this quarter panel, and he fixed it up and he used the car as his own for a few years. So the general public wouldn't know the wiser. They would think this car had never been in an accident. The paint actually looks pretty decent. The color match is okay, but us car guys would know right away that the body lines just don't line up perfectly. Obviously, I ran a Carfax, so I know that it had the rebuilt title, but this was inspected many years ago. It's been on the road for a very long time after the accident, and it was nothing major, no frame damage or anything like that. It was just the quarter panel, and what's nice, is the previous owner included a nice binder, and it has a ton of receipts for all the maintenance work and all the repair work that's been done over the last few years from him and the guy before him. But he also included the pictures from the wreck. So as we can see here in the back, we got a taillight smashed out, rear bumper's kind of messed up, and then this is the primary damage. So as you can tell here, the quarter panel was kind of smashed in. Oh, and the car is tuned as well, and I found the dyno sheet in this binder, and it put down 442 wheel horsepower, which equates to roughly 500 crank horsepower. Anyway, these cars with a clean title with 68,000 miles, especially with this color combo, white on black, is pretty desirable. They sell for about $25,000, so figure 15, something like that, with a rebuilt title, and I got it for 85. So I still think I did really, really good on the price, and the interior is in pretty awesome shape. These have some crazy AMG seats. They're very bolstered, and they look to be in pretty nice condition. I got to do some cleaning, and then the only thing, the driver's side bolster is a little worn out. It's almost impossible not to get in and out of this car and kind of rub up on that. But the steering wheel looks really nice, factory flat bottom steering wheel. He put the red anodized shifter paddles on there, so I'll remove those. So we have the factory silver ones. The air conditioning works, the radio works. Nothing's cut up or torn. All the door panels are really, really nice. So overall, the interior is in excellent condition. So let me know in the comments section down below if you guys would have taken a chance on buying this car for $8,500. Now up next, we're gonna be taking a deeper look into this engine. We're gonna be taking some stuff apart, doing a compression test, and hopefully putting my mind at ease, because I'm not gonna lie, right now, I am totally freaked out every time that I go to start this car that the engine is just gonna totally grenade and blow up. I'm in disbelief that there's possibly nothing wrong with this engine, but I haven't done a full inspection yet. We still have to lift the car up, and I'm assuming with a car like this, we're gonna run into at least one or two big surprises. Now, the ultimate goal for the C63 is a naturally aspirated 600 horsepower monster. I want this thing to run on E85. We're gonna do a full custom exhaust, and I'm gonna try and source some aftermarket camshafts that are gonna make this 156 sound absolutely crazy. We're also gonna be toning it down, but I'm hoping for some excellent performance from this platform. We could possibly dip into the 10-second quarter-mile range. These cars handle really well, so I'll probably go to a road course too, and I'm just gonna have a blast with this thing. So obviously, the diesel project is in full effect. We're gonna be going to the quarter-mile drag strip with the E55 soon to see if we can dip into the 10s with its new modifications. And yeah, there's a lot going on the LegitStreetCars YouTube channel. With that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and most importantly, get a pre-purchase inspection, because you never know, you might not find anything wrong at all. Have a good one, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video. All right, that last scene, it makes no sense. I can't drive away with no camera.